Hello, my name is Kerry Martell and I'm the president of Zenither. This is our video streaming application. It may be one of the last demos that I do of the system. I did a previous demo, but it didn't record very well. It sounded like there was a motor in the background. I'm redoing it. As you can see with our channel guide, we are a virtual multi-channel programming distributor, which is a very fancy way of saying that we are cable TV without the cable. We can do live streaming video like a lot of people do, like Sling TV as an example. They're just using the set-top, they're using the same type of software setup in the way that it functions as your cable box would at home. So a system like Sling TV, they're still using video servers that are sitting in some broadcaster's TV station, which is beaming signals to outer space and to a satellite dish where somebody's leasing space on it. Okay, and then they recapture that signal down here on Earth with a receiver dish, and they run that video streaming signal through a CDN, and they just stick that feed for their application like Sling TV into a video player. So whenever you go to the graphics, to click on station, you get an experience that's not too dissimilar to this. It's not going to load an actual video. I don't think it's just going to load this sort of demo here. So we can do that. Anybody can fucking do that. It's not very hard to do that. All right. What I'm going to show you is what we call dynamic television broadcasting, and this is unique. This is a patented system that we have developed. Our company currently owns 10 patents with several patents pending on our unique technologies and the way that our interface works. You have not seen something like this before. This is a dynamic station here, one of our demos. It's the Drive-In Movies channel, which has a bunch of public domain stuff. The color codes represents different types of content, red in this case for movies and blue teal for music content. Just so you can understand what the content is color codes are about. So if you were to watch a program right now, it's going to load. Oh, I guess it's going to load at 7 o'clock. I guess it's 6:52. So I'll click on this program here, which is toward the end of this horror film, House on Haunted Hill. And it's going to play the video. My internet is a little bit slow right now, so it's loading a little slow. But it will play the video, and it starts at about an hour and 7 minutes into the video. So it knows where it should be at, so it simulates that live broadcast appeal, even though we're not using a live broadcast for this pre-recorded show. The reason is because we are simulating the aspects of live television broadcast. So the automated television system, which would normally sit at the broadcaster's TV station, and they would send that signal out either through a terrestrial antenna system, or they would be broadcasting to a satellite, as I previously mentioned, which would then be received and downloaded by different cable operators. Even if they're running through an application like Sling TV, they're still running through the cable operators. A lot of people don't know that. Instead of doing all that noise, the automated system for scheduling all the content is sitting on our servers in the cloud, completely in the cloud. It's all handled in the cloud. So I can easily back up without having to DVR anything by simply going back earlier in the day as the viewer. So I can, if I'm seeing the tail end of this horror film, I can just back up to the very beginning. But it's not just this program. I can go back earlier in the day when anything was released, and I can now watch it on demand without ever needing to DVR it. This is very important because DVR, a lot of people don't know this, DVR is actually a patented system that is owned by a company called TiVo, which everybody's heard of. TiVo makes $500 million a year in licensing fees on DVR technology. We have completely, it's obsolete now. Part of the reason it's obsolete is because the user experience of our system is superior. Okay, dynamic television broadcasting allows you to go back earlier in the day. You never need to DVR anything because everything is in the cloud. The second reason it eliminates it, makes it obsolete, is because the ads that will play are different than what would play during the original broadcast. And I'll show you how that system works a little bit when we go into the episode container system. so that you can see that it doesn't matter if you're doing a live stream, it doesn't matter if you're using pre-recorded videos. Once you build content within Zenither, you never need to try to edit or change out the ads. There's no DVR system that will burn those ads into the recording and can't replace them, or has to do some finicky, not really great systems that try to match up when an ad's served and replace it with an ad. All that noise doesn't have to be done with the Zenither system. One thing I want to mention about the user experience is, that may not be obvious to people, is that we do have search. A lot of people just look at the television guide and they think, oh, it's just imitating cable. No, we have the best versions of the cable television experience, and we have the best versions of the more video streaming platforming services. We're the best of all worlds. So we have search. I can search for, as just an example, I can search for movies. And I can see stations that serve movies. Okay, I can see shows, different comedy movies, horror movies, adventure movies, and I can see individual movies here, and I can search through there, and I can watch them on demand. Okay, we've got that. Anybody can do this stuff. That's not really that. That's not challenging to do. That's not the meat of what Zenither is. And you can watch these things on demand as well. So you can also comment. We've got all this stuff. Another thing that we have, to go back to the TV guide here, is we have channel pages. So I can go to the station page here, and I can see, like a banner, and I can see how many people are subscribed to the station, and I can see the current daily schedule of releases for, what's currently being broadcast, and I can see what featured movies is here and featured shows, and I can watch things on demand directly from the station page, just like you would on YouTube or anywhere else. There's a difference, however, in how this is generated behind the scenes. This is something different. If you're on Sling TV and you're trying to watch something on demand, those videos have to be separately uploaded compared to the original broadcast of that episode that originally appeared on that station. So basically what station owners have to do is they have to send video files through these elaborate secured systems, which are expensive, by the way, to Sling TV, so that they can add them to the system, and they can upload it and make it available for viewers. There's just a lot of busy work that doesn't need to be done. The Zenither system, once an episode has been released on the TV guide, it will instantly be available for on-demand viewing without ever having to do anything separately to make it available for DVR. It's all part of the way that the system works. It's easy. It's so easy. I'm going to show you. So let's go into my stuff here. And I've got, let's see which station I can use. I'll use the gaming station as an example. Mega Explode is our gaming station. So I'm going to go into it, and you can see that I can easily add a new show to it. I just name it, write the description. It's got standardized blocks for how long an average episode of the show will be. It makes it easier for scheduling onto the TV guides. It would be really odd if somebody had a TV program that lasted for 15 minutes and 45 seconds. That's not a standard format for television broadcasting. So we have some presets in here to make it easier for programmers to follow the rules. Let's say that I've got a shareable URL, so I have the individual show page that I can share on Facebook or on Reddit or wherever else, so I can get some organic traffic. A lot of video streaming platform, excuse me, a lot of video streaming platforms, like let's say Pluto TV. Pluto TV claims that they're internet television, but you can't, as a publisher or even a viewer, share anything that's on that application on Facebook, have anybody watch that stuff. There's no URLs. It's just a very simple, poorly built application. We have a good application. There's a shareable URL, so people can actually share things. And we also have Shopify integration for the episode pages. So when a viewer is watching content, they can be advertised products that they can purchase without ever leaving the Zenither application. They can make those purchases through our application, so you can, as a content owner, sell DVDs and T-shirts and baseball hats, anything really that you want to sell. That if you could put it on Shopify, you can sell it through Zenither as a publisher. It just makes it a little bit easier to have point of sale transactions while your audience is watching the content. You can upload thumbnails and things like that. This is really important here. This is earnings percentage for third-party networks show. So I used to run a YouTube network. And if you run a YouTube network, you don't have any tools built into the YouTube content management system that allows you to easily know how to pay your YouTube partners. This requires you either to develop your own billing system that will integrate with YouTube CMS and download spreadsheets and match up things by video IDs and channel IDs. It's really fucking complicated. Or you license somebody else who already has that type of system, but then you're beholden to them. They're basically in control of everything, and if their tech support is bad, you're kind of screwed. So there's a lot of problems with trying to build a channel network for content and pay people who are part of your network, because YouTube is not designed for that, and it's baffling to me that it's not. So anyway, because I'm a former MCN owner, I wanted to make sure that our platform made it very easy for a channel owner to pay its partners. We got all these different shows that are on this gaming channel from different gaming creators, and when we make money, I want to make it easy to pay them. So I can simply, say that I want to pay, the channel owners 50% of the ad revenue, and our analytics system will automatically figure out how much we should pay those partners based on whatever the ads are sold for against that content, against that video content. It's super easy. And this is one of the differences between having a platform that was developed by somebody who actually has ran a YouTube network and somebody who's just some, person who's on the periphery of the video streaming service, or someone from traditional television who's designing one of these things. They don't really know what is necessary to take internet television to the next level and make it easy for the next generation of television content operators to operate. Zenither is that system, and we've developed things. So even though this seems like such a small little thing, it's really a big thing, because it makes it easy to have a business model that will scale. You don't have to make your own content. You just start a network on Zenither, and you license content from other people, and you give them a percentage of revenue, and you can easily pay them because it's going to tell you what to pay. So it's just a different ballgame. Let me go into a show here. Let's go into 8-Bit Eric's shows. My good friend Eric Perez, and I'll show you how the episode container system works. So this is a template for an episode container. It looks very simple, and it kind of is. And there's purity in that simplicity. So you'll see these different content segments here, these little gray blocks, and these are individual videos that are set together in kind of like a playlist. And it's a chronological linear timeline for how content will load when somebody goes to this episode for the Doom. So first it's going to show a 12-second video, which is called the Mega Explode Bump. This is the station ID video. And then it goes into the game review, which lasts about 10 minutes. 10:57, technically 11 minutes. And then it will show another bump for our station ID, and then it goes into some ads. So these ad segments each one is 15 seconds in duration, and there's a purpose to that. The standard for television ads is that they are divided into chunks of 15-second durations. So the smallest duration you could ever make a commercial ad, you hardly ever see it anymore these days, but the smallest stock is 15-second ad. The most common are 30 to 60-second ads, and then 2-minute ads, I believe. And we do that too. And the way this works is that our billing system for ads, the ad delivery network that we own our own ad delivery network. And if you're familiar with how Google AdWords works, consider it, we basically made our own version of AdWords specifically for television on the internet. And that is different than showing video ads on YouTube. That is not television, okay? We have the ability for content owners to actually decide when they will go to content breaks. I can move these breaks around and these blocks around. So if I went over here, for example, now I have two 15-second slots that are right next to each other for ads. So the publishing system could combine these two segments together, since they're sitting next to each other, into one single 30-second commercial break. So now as a content owner, I can control how long my commercial breaks are in between content. I can better control my monetization in a very simple, easy to use system that any teenager could use. You know, if you were to develop something like this using any other broadcast automation software, you would have to learn a scripting language. And while the scripting languages are learnable, that's a barrier to entry. If you can manage a Facebook page, you know, you can now be your own television operator. It's that simple. You still need to have sufficient content, you know, that people are going to want to watch and advertisers are going to want to buy against. But nevertheless, the point is that it's that easy now to operate a television network. Anybody could do it using the Zenither system. You don't have to learn a scripting language. You don't have to spend, you know, tons of money on broadcasting equipment. You don't have to own CDNs. You need all that shit. All you need is a laptop and access to our system and some content, and you could operate your own television network. So moving these back over here, this becomes a way that you can combine several different segments together to manage how long your ad breaks are. So if you wanted to show a 2-minute ad, it would just combine all these different 15-second ad segments together until it created, you know, a 2-minute ad and placed it. But because it's so dynamic, you know, if it's doing a dynamic pragmatic ad spend, I should say ad display, not a spend. If it's doing a pragmatic ad display, you're going to have different sizes of ads. But the point with our system is that on YouTube, you might see a 30-second ad at the start of the video, or you might see a 5-minute ad. There's really no fucking rhyme or reason to it. Sometimes you'll see an ad appear in the middle of a video while somebody's talking. The person who's in control of the video doesn't really have much control. They used to let you put some, you know, where you want your commercial breaks to, and even when they let you do that, you know, it was never on point all the time. They often it would just show an ad whenever Google thinks that it's supposed to be an ad there. And it's just really hard to control the viewer experience of the content, which is so important for a publisher. You got to control the experience. And you can't do that with a lot of these platforms. If I'm watching content, you know, on Hulu, you know, the commercials will come in the middle of the action. I'll be watching Terminator, and when Arnold is about to say, "I'll be," you know, an ad will play, and then I got to watch 5-minute ad, 5 minutes worth of ads before he says "back," you know, which is irony. And that's what the experience is in a nutshell. It's a really bad, poorly made experience. It's developed by people who don't really appreciate the viewer experience. They don't care about the viewers. They don't care about the content owners. They just want to make a bunch of money making bad software for the internet. And, you know, I don't know how else to say it. It's a bad software system. Now you'll see here video URL. This is a field, and if I had a URL to a YouTube video, I could add that YouTube video as a content segment. We're connected to their API. We're also connected to JW Player's API as well. One of the things that confuses people at times is that we're not a video player service, okay? We don't own video player technology. There's so many companies out there that are selling that. That's just not a very competitive space for somebody to operate in. Rather, we are in the space of distribution and providing content management for being able to display that content in an optimal way to the viewer and being able to monetize that content the best way. If you use JW Player's ad system, you know, you don't have a lot of control. You've got a lot of the problems that I mentioned before. With our system, you have way more control. Another benefit is that traditional ad blocking software will not work on Zenither. If you were to try to block ads, it would break the system. You would not be able to skip the ads and just go watch something else because it's restricted by time. You have to go through the time to watch the content. And this is even the case if you're watching it on demand. While you can skip ahead on demand, you can't skip through the ads. It's sequential, and there's no way to defeat this. If you do, you're going to see the smiling mascot face of our Zenny mascot, and he'll be telling people to stand by forever if they try to use ad blocking software on Zenither. You will not be able to do it. There's no way to do it. So this is one of the benefits for content owners. And while viewers may not appreciate that. If you're watching free television, somebody's got to pay for it, and if you're not paying for it, the advertiser has to. Okay. So we integrate with YouTube or JDweb Player, and you could enter a video here and add content to the feed and customize it. Now, the way the system is currently working, admittedly, it is working in a way that's not the best. You would have to do this like a very traditional automation system for television broadcasting, if you're familiar with operating a television station. Some people watching this may be television programmers, so they understand what I'm talking about. But you would basically have the content, the episode of a television show or a movie. It's not in one huge video file. That's not traditionally how television works. That's become common with video streaming platforms, but that's not traditionally how television is broadcast. They divide the content into several segments, and they do that so that you can have commercial breaks in between the videos. So it loads videos, or originally it was based off a tape system, so it loads tapes. And it would do it in sequences. So we have kind of a version of that. Instead of tapes, we have individual video assets. So it plays video 1, video 2, video 3, and each one, runs for its duration and then plays the next one. And then it goes to the ad segment, commercial break, template spot for where any type of ad could be bought and distributed there. In the next iteration of Zenither, we're going to have it so that you can actually edit how much of a video you want to show, because this is the internet. It's year 2020. We can make things happen. So the next version will you could upload an entire video file for a television episode as one big file. Then the programmer just picks, like, I only want to use the first 3 minutes. That's going to be one spot. Put a bunch of commercials in here. Now I'm going to show the next 5 minutes of it, and then put more commercials after. That would be a little bit more easier for publishers to do, and it's not that hard to implement. We just haven't got around to it yet. Of course, you can also upload individual clips if you really wanted to through the Zenither system. Without getting a little bit tongue-tied here, you could do that if you really wanted to, but I don't really see the point. But we have that feature anyway. Getting back to the stations. Now that I've talked at length about the episode container system, honestly, I should go back here. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little bit sidetracked. I'm going to go back and I'm going to use this one as an example here. Yes. Okay. Put this in draft mode. So imagine this is not Atlas in the Land of the Cyclops, a public domain fantasy film. Imagine that this is me trying to schedule like a live stream stuff, and I'm going to use this as an example. Okay. So let's say that this video segment here, this is going to be the first, let's say the first 5 minutes of my live stream is going to be this video. Now, in a traditional live streaming platform like YouTube or Twitch or Facebook, there's just one player, and you've got your broadcasting client that you're using on your computer, and you're running all your camera feeds through that one system. I'm not going to name any brands because I don't want to promote them. I don't think they're very good software. But you have your client that's managing all of your streams, okay? And that one is sending the signal to one of these platforms, and there's a player on one of these platforms. That's not how Zenither works, okay? So our system is that you actually are sending content to specific video segments that are going to be saved in an episode container. So I start broadcasting, and I've got this one segment here. And I'm going to stop broadcasting and go to commercial break. If you go to commercial break on Twitch, you have to manage that commercial through your software. So you've got to have that commercial ready to go to serve through. You can't dynamically serve that ad through something like AdWords and have it so that every time somebody comes back to that spot in the feed when they watch on future broadcasts of your Twitch live stream, they're not going to see a different ad. They're going to see the same ad that you burned into that video recording that sits on Twitch. That's what they're going to see. And it's not just Twitch. Everybody basically works this way. That's not how television on the internet should be working. It shouldn't be working, like we're back in 1998. The way the Zenither system works is that when you go to commercial break, it's going to put in one of these little orange ad segment templates, and it's going to pull ads from our servers pragmatically. Okay, and then when you come back, it's going to make, I'm just going to use this as a visual example, it's going to make another video segment right after the commercial breaks. Okay, and you're going to start broadcasting from your computer again to the Zenither system, and people are going to see that. So by doing it this way, when somebody watches the recording that you made and has been saved in the episode container system on the Zenither servers, when somebody comes to the ad segment, they're going to see a different ad that cost money, a new purchase of the ad, than the ads that originally played during that initial broadcast. This gives you, as the broadcaster, the opportunity to pre-sell ads at a high rate, during the live portion of the broadcast. And then you can have more, dynamically, pragmatically served ads for like $1 CPM or whatever on the subsequent rewatches. And while that $1 CPM, that lowball CPM on the rebroadcasts might be low, that's money you otherwise would not have made. And truth be told, if you're broadcasting on Twitch right now, you're not making any of this money, okay? Because you're not connected to an ad server where you can pragmatically pull in an ad from somewhere else, like SpotX, which we're integrated with. You can't put in a high-paying ad. You have to do a sponsored video. You've got to deal with sponsorships for every ad that you put into your live stream. And it's there forever, permanently. You have one monetization opportunity during your broadcast, and that's fucking it. Okay? With our system, you can have lots of different people buy ads on your content in advance, pre-sell it if you want to. It's all managed through our system. Or if you don't have anybody pre-buy it, it will be pragmatically served, and you'll make a CPM for whoever's willing to pay. There's now a bidding war for your content, basically, much like it would be on YouTube. There's a bidding war to try to get those keywords that your video ranks for, to get your audience, whatever that demographic is. You're making more money using a system like this. And by the way, for anybody else who's making software, we've patented all this shit. Please don't rip me off. Please don't make me have to go after you in the courts. I'm not saying this to be arrogant. I'm saying, there's no point in trying to reinvent the wheel. I got the patents. I got the system. Why don't we just work together, okay? I'll license you my API. We have an API. We'll just plug our stuff into your stuff and help you out. There's no reason for you to try to reinvent the wheel. Please don't do that. I'd rather work with you than have to sue you. Okay, I'm not showing you the system, of course, because I don't want to show people the system, because I know people are going to rip it off. I'm just telling you how it works because I don't want to show you. Anyway, but if anybody wants to work with us, I'm happy to have a deeper conversation. Let's go into the station scheduling here. The schedule builder. Okay, so this episode, this station has a bunch of content scheduled, and you'll see that we have all the different, time zones all around the world. You can control the feed, and you kind of have to for our system, the way that it works. You have to control the feed for the different time zones, and one of the reasons why we did it this way is because sometimes people want to serve different shows in different time zones, and sometimes people want to, to have geographic control even over what's being shown. Maybe you don't have the rights to, Abbott and Costello go to Africa in Cuba or something. You need to change out that content. You can do that using our system. Right now it's just focused on time zones, but we do have geofencing that we can do. The other reason is because we need to account for scheduling of live stream content. Now, I don't have anything live streamed at the moment, but if I did, I would hit just for live. And this screen would do is it would bring up my lists of prepared live streams that I'm going to do, which is handled in a separate system. And we would have to use a software that is in development called Zenither, which would handle all this for you. But anyway, so you would develop a live stream that you're going to do through Zenither. You'd pre-create it, and the Just for Live portion through the broadcast automation software, it will allow you to slot in those broadcasts into a schedule. So just for a visual aid. If I was going to do a live broadcast at like, let's say 1 p.m., okay, it would have to go into this time slot here. Well, I've already got content on here. So it's going to have to change this content out, and as you can see, it's very odd. So the Adjust for Live feature moves content around a little bit in this area, so it tries to make it so it will fit into this 1 p.m. time slot, rather than somebody having to manually figure this shit out. It will automatically do it based on the library of content that the owner has to make it a little bit easier for them. You can, of course, manually change out content, okay? I can just delete this 1 p.m. slot and try to slot something else in there. But as you can see, sometimes, it can be a little bit challenging to figure out what to put into that time slot. So the system will automatically figure it out for you. And it will do that on all the different time zones. So if I'm broadcasting, let's say, 1 p.m. Pacific time, right, that's going to be like 3 o'clock Eastern time, I think. So I might be off on that. I can't remember what the exact breakdown is for the math. But you get the idea, right? If I'm broadcasting 1 p.m. on the Pacific Coast, it's going to be a different time in other time zones. But people need to be able to find that content at the same time that I'm live streaming it, otherwise things don't make sense. So it will automatically put that show into the proper time slot all around the world for you, automatically moving content around as it needs to get that live stream in. So you can have a mixture of live programming, like a news broadcast, and pre-recorded shows of TV series and movies on your television station, just like ABC does, just like the big guys do. And this is all managed with a laptop. It's managed with a laptop. You don't have to buy expensive, proprietary broadcast automation suite. You don't have to learn scripting language. You don't have to buy all this crap and licensing fees. Our system can run off a Chromebook. It can run off your tablet. It's a cloud-based system, and it's easy to use. And this is just the manual. You can manually create the schedules if you want this way, or you can do what I call the release pattern. The release pattern is, if I wanted to, let's imagine that Adventure Movies here was actually Game of Thrones, and I'm HBO. I'm operating HBO, so I need to release content for the episodes of Game of Thrones at 6 p.m. on Sundays. So I would just pick a range, let's say a year, March 21st to the 11th. So what it would do is it would schedule this Sunday of this week, here in December, 6 p.m. on Sunday. Episode 1 comes out of Game of Thrones. Next week, on Sunday at 6 p.m., Episode 2 comes out. And so on and so forth on subsequent weeks. Because there aren't enough episodes of Game of Thrones to schedule every Sunday at 6 p.m. until March 11th on 2021, when it gets to the end of the season, all the episodes, when it runs out of episodes of Game of Thrones, it starts scheduling Episode 1 again from the beginning on that Sunday. So it makes it super easy to not only schedule the premiere of your new content, but also make sure that your reruns are scheduled too over a long period of time. So it makes it much easier to manage. And if you don't even want to do that, you can just use our auto scheduling system. Pick all the time zones you want for your station. Pick the date range, again, years in advance, whatever. Pick all the days of the week if you want. And it will automatically schedule your content for you. How this works at the moment, we're going to give more customization options in the moment. But what it will do is it will go alphabetically down your shows. So it will schedule Episode 1 of the first alphabetically ordered show in your library on the 1 a.m. time slot of that day. And then the next available time slot, let's say it's an hour-long show, so it would schedule in the 2 p.m. slot. It'll schedule the Episode 1 of the next alphabetical show. So we have a show called A. Show A gets scheduled into 1 a.m. slot for 1 to 2, and then show B gets slotted into the 2 a.m. slot for, let's say, it's a 30-minute show. So then show C it gets episode 1 slotted into the 2:30 slot. And as you can see, like, it just automatically does it. When it runs out of episode 1s of shows in alphabetical order, it starts, scheduling in alphabetical order episode 2. So it doesn't just schedule like the same show over and over again all day long. It actually mixes up the content a little bit to make it easier for you to, have a good watch experience. And then you can just, after you've done all that, come back to the daily schedule. If you're a live stream broadcaster and you're going to do a regularly broadcast show, you can just hit adjust for live, adjust where you want your live stream programming to be in that timeline. So if let's say you're a Twitch streamer, okay, you've got all this huge library of content you've made over the years. So you make all your reruns, use auto scheduler to make all your reruns available, but you're only going to broadcast from like 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock from now on, right? You're not going to be broadcasting all day long because now people can quickly access your previous content. You only schedule a few hours a day. So all you have to do is schedule and make sure that you show up and do your broadcast for a few hours a day. And otherwise, the Zenither system is keeping your audience engaged and motivated watching your reruns. And you only have to work, a couple hours a day if you wanted to. And again, when you are broadcasting, you can fetch ads and just push ads from our ad server. Never need to re-edit your videos. It's going to be automatically saved in our episode container system. So when people see those reruns, it's showing different ads than originally played, and you're making more money. So I hope that gives some appreciation to people who are watching this who have familiarity with broadcasting on the internet. They understand the value of what we've built here based on what I've shown, what I've shown with little of the system. I'm not showing everything, and what I'm describing. We do have analytics, of course. Everybody has freaking analytics. Analytics is boring, in my opinion, but we have analytics. This can be a lot more intense and more of a deep dive, but the best way to really show the deep dive actually isn't through the analytics here. It's going to be through the ad system. So I'm going to log into the ad system so that you can see that. Ads on Zenither.tv. I think I'm going to have to turn off my ad blocking here to show it. Okay, continuing on. I'm going to log into the test account for the agency accounts. We have our own ad system, which is, it's accessible through the Zenither TV website, but this is actually a separate system than the Zenither application for watching television and scheduling content. This is kind of like our version of AdWords. It's a good way to say it. You may be familiar with the screen if you buy ads on Facebook, however, because we kind of are using a similar sort of interface design. So now I'm in the seat of an advertiser, and I'm looking to buy ads on stations on Zenither. That's the purpose of this. Okay, so I've got a target audience that I want to find. So I've got a lot of different statistics available to me to see what kind of audiences are available on Zenither. All right. So right now, I can see the demographics by age for the entire platform of Zenither. I can see their relationship statuses, I can see their education levels, employment statuses, house ownership. I can see their occupation percentages, I can see if they're blue-collar workers, homemakers, whatever else, self-employed, accountants, household sizes, income levels, the generations, and so far and so forth. I can even see political parties. 12% of our users are Democrats. 1% is independents, 4% is Republicans, and some have no party affiliation. All this information is coming from demographic partners who are matching the registered users of Zenither based upon some identifying information. And we know a lot of information. So we basically, we're working with the same company that provides information to Google and to Facebook. That company is Axiom. We have the exact same targeting capabilities as all these guys do. We have our own system. So when I said that we have our own version of AdWords, this is what I'm talking about. We know the same shit, okay? If I wanted to advertise to black lesbians between the ages of 28 and 49 who are full-time employed in a certain geographic area, in a certain, city, I could do that using Zenither. I could find out what stations have those audiences, what market share they have, and I can buy ads against that content. And likewise, the owners of the publishers of their stations, they can also see this demographic information as well. So they have they're more informed compared to like YouTube, where they basically just tell you age, sex, and location of the viewer, and that's about it. You can actually see who your audience is. So when you have a conversation about sponsorships, if you have a conversation with an advertiser, you can have an informed, educated conversation with them about what your demographic actually is, rather than just saying, I'm PewDiePie and I make gaming videos, so I assume that, my viewers are young people who like video games. Okay? That's not a demographic. That's not a fucking demographic. Okay? Demographic is knowing all this shit that I'm showing you here. Okay? If you don't know this stuff, you don't know their income level, you don't know, what political party they're affiliated with, you don't know what their job is. If you don't have an informed education about the demographics of your audience beyond a hypothesis based upon what content that you're making and that you assume your audience to be, then you don't really know who your audience is. If you use Zenither, I guarantee you, within an hour of your audience coming over to your station on Zenither, you're going to know who your fucking audience is. And you know what? You're going to make a lot more money because you actually know who they are. You don't know who they are on YouTube. You have no fucking clue on YouTube. And that goes for Twitch as well. All you know is what you think you know based upon what people are saying to you in the comments. You have no actual real idea who these people are. But if they use Zenither, we will. We will know exactly who they are. And you will make more money from your content because you will have a better conversation with advertisers and sponsors, because you will have the ability to give them better targeting for their campaigns. And on that same note, you'll have a better idea of what type of content you should be making for your audience, because you'll know more about them. This is the real secret sauce of internet streaming, and almost nobody knows this. If you're licensing your content to Netflix, you don't know who your fucking audience is. Okay? You don't know who they are. You have no idea. And you don't know what the value of that content is. You don't really know. You know what Netflix is willing to pay you. But you don't know what value that they're getting out of it. So, maybe you should use Zenither instead. Just an idea. We do have an API. We can plug our system into anybody else's app. The whole goal of our system is to replace how television broadcasting is currently working, terrestrial and with cable, but also how it's currently working with video streaming. Because video streaming, internet TV isn't really internet TV, okay? They're just tacking on software from the set-top box. They're just making a version of that to load on your phones and your smart TVs, okay? The infrastructure is still very traditional. It's very traditional, and it's not innovative, and it's not good. And they're paying ridiculous licensing fees to old-ass companies like TiVo for DVR, which is an obsolete technology that we have replaced. I'm going to go back over to the Zenither main website, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into my admin account, because a lot of people think this is just a free-to-watch system. Free to watch television, purely an AVOD play. That is not what Zenither is. Zenither is the whole fucking package. I'm going to show you, okay? So I'm going to log into my publisher account, the admin account, so I can show you the paid subscription options. Okay, I have logged into the admin account. Now, publishers do not get to set the price for their paid subscriptions. This is not how Zenither works. Zenither is using a model similar to cable, which has been proven to work very, very well. It is using packages. So we have our system, the system's designed, I should say. We don't currently do this because we don't have any premium channels worth of buying anything. But we have packages that we can create, okay? I haven't created any bundles yet, but if I wanted to, I could create a bundle. And I guess that's what I'll do as a demo here. So let's put ABC and Al Jazeera and, I don't know, some other people into a premium station. So I'm going to make these now premium stations. You can no longer watch these stations on Zenither unless you are paying, you're subscribed through our billing system, and we do have a billing system, which is integrated with PayPal for doing all the payment transactions at the moment. But it's a premium paid channel bundle. So let's say that this is now the basic cable package. It would normally be like 50 channels for like $10 a month. But just for this example purposes, these are going to be our premium channels. So I'm going to create a bundle, and I'm going to call it the base. Actually, let's give it a cooler name. Let's call it the silver package. Okay, I'll call it the silver package, and the monthly price will be $9.99, and it's going to be a recurring ID for the package. This is necessary for PayPal, and instead of being worldwide, you're only going to be able to access it if you're in a certain country. Let's say the United States, because that makes the most sense for this purpose. But also look, I have the rights to these stations for Canada, so I'm going to add Canada too. You can add all these different countries around the world for these different packages. I mean, shit, maybe I also have the rights for Mexico for all these stations, so I'll add Mexico into the place. Okay, I've got all of North America here and some of South America now available for this package. That anybody who lives in the United States and Canada and Mexico, they can now subscribe to my paid package every month. And these are the stations that I have available to add to my bundle. I'm going to add ABC, Al Jazeera, Bandwagon, Ben and Holly, and Buzzer. And now they're going to be added to the silver package. So people have to subscribe to the silver package in order to access them. Now, how it works is that if you go to those stations now, even if they're on the TV guide, you will not be able to watch the content unless you are a paid subscriber. So it will give a pop-up window that says that you need to subscribe to the silver bundle. Do you want to do that? And then it will take them over to the transaction page to be able to subscribe to that bundle. And I can make as many bundles as I want at whatever prices I want with all the different channels, that I want here as a publisher. I can control that. Now, will we do that for everything? Of course not. We're only going to do it for the premium stuff, okay? People that have premium content. But the point of this is that the way that this works is that we pay the station owners a carriage fee, just like a traditional television broadcasting, cable operator would. We're a cable operator, basically. And we'll pay the carriage fees. So if it's $9.99 package, ABC might be getting like 30 cents per subscriber. Al Jazeera is getting like, 15 cents per subscriber, whatever it is. But because our system can allow anybody to basically make a television network, this premium stations may not just be the big ones, okay? Let's say that some big YouTuber like PewDiePie, or Logan Paul, they make their own network on Zenither. They're going to be a premium station, okay? They got a big audience that wants to watch their stuff. And if you want to watch PewDiePie's channel, you've got to be part of the $9.99 a month silver package. But you don't just get PewDiePie with it, okay? You're getting ABC, you're getting Disney, you're getting all these different companies, who are making really great stuff. So PewDiePie, this is the big problem of other streaming platforms that have tried to do this with streaming, content owners, okay? They get like one fucking dude who's really big and a bunch of small nobodies no one's ever heard of before. And then they're like, oh, you need to pay us $20 a month for some ridiculous, small amount of content that might be made by these guys before they release their content on fucking YouTube. Okay, I'm not going to name them. There's a lot of different companies that tried that stupid business model, and they all failed and wasted a bunch of money because it was dumb. But you know what people will pay for? They will pay for ABC. Okay, because ABC is spending millions of dollars making really fucking awesome content. Okay, and part of the reason they can do that is because they're getting carriage fees. They've got a really good brand. And they don't just sell their stuff by themselves, okay? This is another big flaw with all these different streaming apps, right? HBO now is having to release, all their brand new movies to try to attract people because they just don't have enough quality content to be a standalone service. Everybody's scared about this shit. I wouldn't be scared. I think that's stupid. That's a stupid move, okay? You're going to have to be like Netflix where you're spending billions of dollars a year making content because you have to shield that yourself. This system, this package here, this makes way more fucking sense, okay? If I'm PewDiePie, I don't want people to subscribe to just my channel. there's not going to be enough people to do that, okay? Not for me to make really good content. I'm still going to mostly be making video blogs because that's all I can really afford to make. If I want to make the big fucking bucks, if I want to have millions of people paying me 30 cents, per subscriber, then I want to be bundled next to ABC and the Disney Channel, okay? I want to be part of the basic cable package. That's what I fucking want. And you can never do that as PewDiePie. You can't be on Sling TV because you're not part of that crowd, PewDiePie, and everybody else like him. Logan Paul, they'll never let you on Sling TV. They don't want you on Sling TV because you're taking away from their thunder. They're at the table and they don't want you there, okay? It's Thanksgiving time and they want you to stay at the kiddie table at fucking YouTube and Twitch. They don't want you to come into the big boy table, alright? Zenither is the big boy table that those assholes will have to be part of. They're going to have to be part of this if it becomes ubiquitous. And that's what we're trying to do. Maybe I shouldn't call them assholes, but it's true. They're kind of assholes to you guys, okay? There's nothing that they can do that you couldn't do if you had the right tools. YouTube doesn't want you to have those tools because YouTube wants to control you. They want to control you. They want to be in control of your ads. They want to be in control of the content. They want to be in control of you. I don't want to be in control of you. I just want to work with you, okay? I want to make my own stations, make my own content, bundle it right next to you. That's what I want to do. I don't want to be fucking Google. I want to be NBC, okay? I want to be Comcast, all right? I want to be Dish. I want to make my own content too. I'm a content creator. That's why I got into this business. So I know you're looking at a static image here and you're not, it's probably really boring, but what I'm saying is so important, guys, okay? You're not going to get, this looks so fucking simple, and it is. But if it's really that great, it's that easy to make, I should say, then why are they not making it for you? And it's not because it's hard. That's not why they're doing it. It's not because it's hard. It's because they don't care. They don't care about indie content creators on YouTube and Twitch. They don't care about runner-ups. They don't care about you guys. They don't want you at the big boy table. They want you to stay at the little kiddie table, okay? And YouTube is the fucking kiddie table. PewDiePie should be a billionaire. With the amount of viewership that he has, it is larger than some of the combined audience sizes of major television networks that make billions of dollars. PewDiePie is not a billionaire because he's on YouTube and he's not on cable. That's why. And he's never going to get on cable. He's never going to get in Sling TV. They don't want him. But if PewDiePie or anybody at that level, similar to that level, anywhere in the top 100, anybody in the top 500 of YouTube was to make a station on Zenither and sell their own ads, control their own ad breaks, set their own price. You can set the minimum bid price for your ads on Zenither, by the way. I didn't show that, unfortunately, but you can do that. You can make sure that you get paid. If you want to be paid $50 for a 30-second slot, you could do that. You could charge that on Zenither. But really, you should be a little bit more realistic, I would say. Anyway, the point is this. Zenither is the platform for the future of video streaming. We are struggling because nobody wants to fund us. Because Quibi and other companies like them wasted a bunch of money and went nowhere. I don't have the connections. I didn't go to fucking Harvard. I'm not part of Silicon Valley. I can't get into Y Combinator. I don't know the right people. I got 10 patents on our technology and Y Combinator rejects us every year. We have a better platform. We have the right platform for the future. And I just don't have the money to license the content, to get the audience, to make this more known. I don't have a marketing budget. We put all our money into building the technology, guys, okay? But if you want to make real money, this is it. So our system can do free-to-watch stations supported just by ads alone. And I expect most of the stations on Zenither, thousands of stations, would just be free to watch. Then we have the more premium stuff. We got the major cable networks who would be in the premium bundle for the silver package. And then we'd have like movie channels like HBO and all that jazz. maybe someday even Netflix in the premium movie bundles, much like you would have with cable. But because this is on the internet and it's super cheap to distribute, we could have a lot of new companies that could come to the fold, right? There's companies, that would just operate a premium station where, maybe it's just the Russian language channels. Pay, $3 a month to add on the Russian bundle on here. Maybe it's the Spanish channels. That's an extra bundle, There's always different add-on bundles we can add, and we could add a lot. The Zenither system was designed to be able to support, and this number is going to shock some people, but we can support millions of stations. They will all load in our TV guide. And part of the reason is because this TV guide, I'm not going to be able to show it, unfortunately, on an admin account. But if I was a viewer account, I can actually pick the station lineups. I can customize my TV guide to show stations and organize them, okay? And then after it finishes the premium picks that the favorited stations that I'm showing and the stations that I'm subscribed to, it would just show a bunch of free stations, and it would just keep dragging on, and it can search for stations and so forth. Part of the reason why we were able to display millions of stations, at once we could potentially do that, is because of the way that the app loads. It loads with pagination to make it a lot easier to do that. A lot of other people's apps do not load with pagination. It's just one big fucking dump of a screen, and if they had like millions of channels, it would probably crash their clients. We have pagination already installed, so we were already ready to we could take every YouTube channel that was ever created and give them a station on Zenither right now, and the system would handle it. It would organize it, okay? It would be able to do that. We also, in a viewer station, I wouldn't be able to show it now because we don't have any new content, but we have a subscription feed that would appear here in the top. You can click on it, you can see all the new content that's been released over time. There's a bunch of other stuff that's in not finished states, lots of the different features for improving quality of life. I won't bore you with it. But our system is good, man. I hope somebody sees this video and they're like, this is an awesome looking system. I'm a big YouTuber. I want to come and work with you guys because, this is done. This is a done platform, okay? The platform itself, all the important nuts and bolts are done. It's just a matter of making the clients for the smart TV operating systems like Roku. We got 60% of a Roku app done. Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV. Man, that shit's easy. That's the easy part. The really fucking hard part is making the infrastructure for the damn server to be able to talk to all those different platforms. Those are just clients, right? It's just a bunch of fucking graphics that's being requested on those clients, okay? That's not hard. Everybody thinks making an app for a phone, that's fucking hard. No. Making the server that talks to that phone and all the other devices and everybody else's fucking operating system, all the different smart TV. I'm sorry I'm cursing, but, it's kind of ridiculous. You have to program all these different clients, talk to all these different operating systems. It's overly complicated. And you have to have infrastructure that will work for that. That's one of the reasons why so many of these services are bad. Some of them work better on different operating systems than others because they were more meant for an Android phone, or they were more meant for an iPhone, or more meant for Roku or whatever else. And they're not really trying to consider everything. They don't have the server infrastructure. And truth be told, a lot of those apps, they're all made by a handful of companies who go to NAB show and they license their stuff and they black label it. And so a lot of these services don't even own their code. They don't own their source code. They didn't develop it. When anything goes wrong with it, they have to go talk to somebody else about what went wrong. And there's 4 degrees of separation between, the person who's trying to advertise their app on Android or Apple and the company that actually built the fucking thing. It has to provide the technical support when things go wrong. We built this, okay? We built this app. Everything here is 100% custom code. We own it, 100%. We own it, okay? I got fucking patents on it. This is ours. Anything goes wrong, we can fix it very quickly, okay? There's no degrees of separation. I don't know what more to say, guys, okay? This is man, I don't know what more to say. Looking at this, it's really great. It really is. And the sad thing when I look at this is that even though it's great, this is like 30% of what I actually envisioned. There's a whole lot of other stuff that is not implemented here. And it will be if I can just get some funding. If I can just get some funding, license some content, market this thing, or get somebody really big who has a lot of content already and has an audience, and they want to get the fuck off of YouTube, they want to get off of Twitch, they want to make real big boy dollars, okay, with television. If I can find somebody who work with us, this will be gangbusters, okay? Everything that you need to make the big, real cable dollars has been built into Zenither. It's here, waiting for you to use it. Come fucking use it. I'm sorry cursing again, but Jesus Christ, people. All right? Stop using YouTube. Stop using Twitch. They're not going to help you. They're not going to let you grow. Don't think that Netflix is going to ever give you any idea what your content's actually worth, because they're fucking not. Okay? Don't think that you're going to get into the good graces of Dish. You're going to get on to things like Sling TV and all this other jazz. You're going to get on to fucking, Hulu Live. They don't want your ass, okay? They got their little gentleman's club going on. They don't want you in. They don't want you in. You're a threat to them. You are a threat. And they don't have any room for you on their platforms. But you know what? If Zenither got a bunch of big YouTubers to port over a bunch of millions of users, you know how quickly those guys would jump onto Zenither? It would be so fucking fast. They will integrate, I'm telling you right now because I know they're going to do it, because they're going to make sound business decisions, okay? They will integrate our API into their apps so that your stations will play in their apps. If I had funding right now, if I had $1 million right now, just $1 million, in 10 years, within 10 years, our API would be powering Hulu. Our API would probably be powering Sling TV if it's even still around. It'll be powering everybody else, okay? We will become the satellite. We will become the CDN, okay? The ads will all flow through us. Everybody will get their piece. Everybody will be happy. Everybody will be providing a better experience to the users. And you'll be making more money. If you're a millionaire on YouTube right now, you'll be a fucking billionaire, okay? I don't know what more to say. You can't control your fucking ads on YouTube. You don't know who your audience is on YouTube. You can't get the proper value for yourself. And all the while, they got some damn automated AI looking to demonetize your videos for stupid reasons. For stupid reasons. They're political. I don't give a shit. Okay? I am not the internet police. I believe in public utility, the public service value of television. I believe in a public forum of debate and discussion. I think that's how a functional democracy works. And you don't really have that when you've got a handful of media companies who all have decided that it's like a religious cause for them to silence other people whose, political differencing of opinion. It's not even like a dramatic difference of opinion. It's like you disagree on fucking political policies. Okay? You disagree on economic policies, so we're going to demonetize you. It's fucking ridiculous. Okay? It's fucking ridiculous. That's a bad world. I envision Zenither to be more like television was back in the 90s. It's treated like a public utility. It's treated as a way for an open forum, open conversations, and nobody's getting, kicked off the platform because they had a difference of opinion on social policies. And it wasn't even like an extreme opinion. It was just like a more centrist opinion than somebody else. So I don't want to rant too much about it, but Zenither is what it is. Okay, it's a long fucking video. I'm sorry for all the cursing, but I'm tired. I'm very tired of all this nonsense. We have a better platform than everybody else. Please come fucking use it. I don't know what more to say. My name is Kerry Martell. This is Zenither in its current state. I get funding. We're gonna rule the world, and it's gonna be a benevolent dictatorship sort of situation. And I know that sounds shitty, but somebody has got to say enough is enough. Somebody has got to say, look, content owners should be in control of the monetization of their content. Look, people should not be silenced just because they disagree. They have a slight disagreement. Honestly, slight disagreement on political issues. It's crazy what they're doing on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and Facebook. It is nonsense. I don't want to be the internet police. I want the television that existed when I was a kid to come back. I want it to be a public forum. I want people to be free to be creative and make really great things, so that when I wake up in the morning and I turn on my television and I'm sitting there with my bowl of oatmeal, I can feel like it's good television and there's entertaining great things to watch. And I haven't felt that in a long fucking time, guys. I haven't felt that in a long time. Kerry Martell, I'm a real person. I really want to work with people. Reach out. Thank you.